Greetings, fellow humans, and welcome to JD without the T. It's been a while since I recorded a new video. I've uploaded a bunch of book reviews and indie book reviews and stuff like that, but it's been a while. So, how you doing? How's it going? Anyways, it's near the end of November, but it's not the end yet, so that means that you're still in time to get something for Nonfiction November. If you've ever read me or wondered why do I write nonfiction, I'll get to that soon, but this is one title. It's called For Writing Out Loud. Nonfiction essays and writings, me trying to motivate myself, and if that helps motivate someone else, then that's all fine and dandy. And peace, love, and micro-rolls, which is my guide to creative kindness. Talking about this because it's been a while since I talked and I chatted, and right now there's actually a sale of those books, not physically, but the ebooks are for like $1. So get a book for $1. Why not? I did want to talk a bit about how I write nonfiction. Some people know me for my middle grade fantasies, other people know me for my poetry, some people know me for my human cycle urban fantasy series. But I also write nonfiction. This is basically based off the blog For Writing Out Loud. Familiar name. By the way, I did both covers. This one's actually a stock image that you will see doing the rounds in several other places. This one I actually designed by myself. And I really like the spine, how I pulled off the spine. For nonfiction, it's all about trying to have a positive impact. Sure, I like decapitations and adventures with wonderful culinary things in the daydreams and other stuff like that. But when it comes to nonfiction, I try to have a positive impact. Anyone who's worked with me knows that I can be high-strung, I can be intense and whatnot, but they know that I do my best to be my best. And I always want to have a positive impact with whatever I do. The blog has been an outlet for me to just cope with a lot of things, and I don't see why not, include that in a book. It was described like a daily motivational by JD Estrada. Thank you, Christy, by the way, for that review. And Peace, Love, and Maki, the guide to creative kindness. A lot of people say thanks for the reminder of and ideas for new ways of being kind. Each one responds to things that I think are important. For Writing Out Loud, it's a much broader gamut since it's from the blog. Basically, I curated the blog so I can get enough material for a book, and it's not a bad size. This is actually based off the essays I did in the first 4 years of the blog, 2013 to 2016. If you do the math, it does add up. 13, 14, 15, 16. Every 4 years, I'm going to do the same process. And yes, I do have a cough. What a surprise that I have a cough. But yes, every 4 years, which means that next year I will be curating again, because it shall include 17, 18, 19, and 20. So I have a year to write a lot on the blog and see what makes it to a book. But the topics are varied. I'm going to read you the topics. It is 4 steps in life. These are essays that I've written called 200 steps, 300 steps, and stuff like that. Real life exercises that I've done at the beach, taking 100 steps with my eyes closed, not knowing if I'm going to step on an urchin or a jellyfish or something. Happiness for the win is another topic. The power of kindness. I'm really big on the power of kindness, and we can talk about that, or you can ask all the questions that you want below in the sexy comment section down below. Thoughts on identity, musings on beauty and life, slices of motivation, rants in an E strata minor, The joys of being a geek, because I am a geek and I am a Ravenclaw, and I'm a Whovian, and I love Nintendo, and I do not apologize for anything that makes me me. Taking a stance, opinions based on values. We're living in an age where everyone gets offended by everything. I do believe everyone should have an opinion, and everyone should be able to share that opinion in a healthy context, and finding a healthy context and finding people to be tolerant of your point of view if it disagrees with theirs. That's the challenge. So that deeper thoughts on life thoughts, or why I write on my birthdays, my journey, and so on and so forth. I'm gonna flip and read the piece that I opened the page to. This is actually page 50. It's called "Gender Needs No Judgment." It's just 2 pages. Some are 2 pages, some are like 4 or 5 pages. Others are even more extensive. Again, stream of thought and things that I think could have a positive impact. So, old psychology diagnostic manuals used to label homosexuality as a disease or a condition. Lucky for us, medicine has evolved and these texts have been revised accordingly. And let's face it might be in our best interest to take a page from medicine and evolve. The vilification of homosexuality has occurred for centuries and it has never made sense. Simply put, you cannot measure a person's worth due to their gender or sexuality. Men and women alike have had to endure constant scrutiny and breathe deeply as naysayers put an asterisk on their merit because of who they are attracted to, or not attracted to, in the case of asexual people and agender people. In less than no time, it is highly likely that you can think of a list of 100 straight people who are revolting to you, and it has nothing to do with gender or even looks. It has everything to do with how they are as people. Homosexuality is not a condition and not a choice either. It's not like people consciously choose to be gay, and the harsh reality is the opposite. Countless wonderful people we know have at some point lived in fear for how they are, how they feel, and it's something basic that forms who they are. Look at it objectively. Take away the prejudice and the religion and the fear. There is nothing to fear from homosexuality, yet it is one of the greatest fears parents have in the upbringing of their children. How is it logical that homosexuality ranks beside violent tendency, drug usage, birth defects, and being a screw-up when it comes to how a person develops? Actually, some people might see a screw-up and remark, hey, at least they aren't gay. As members of the 21st century world, maybe it's time to let go of bad habits like something that stupid. Homosexuality is not vile, evil, or even remotely bad. It just is. Approval of something implies judgment and establishing something as right or wrong. Like I said in the title of this post, homosexuality should not be approved of. It should just be accepted. I don't understand how we can still have such intolerance in places. We have a lot of liberal ideas and advances in certain places, and then other places like Russia, you can basically get killed for being gay. And that's just one of several pieces that I have in terms of opinions of society. I didn't consciously pick one based on homosexuality. I'm actually heterosexual. I'm married. But I have friends who identify as several things. I actually know people who are in transition. I know people who are queer. I know people who are questioning. I know people who are bisexual. I know people who are agender and asexual. I know people who are straight and who are gay and who are lesbian and who are bi. And every day is an opportunity to learn a bit more. I think that the more open we are to hear someone out, the better it can be, because even if we don't understand someone, that doesn't mean that they're right or wrong. It just, they are. And, it would be good to invest a little time in understanding ourselves a bit better. But that's just me. Like that, you will find pieces in For Writing Out Loud. Get Off Your Butt is one of my favorites. Butt with one T, as in, don't say, I want to do that butt. Beauty Has No Impediment, that's actually a piece Based on, I used to work at a building where there was this woman who was actually very attractive, and she just happened to be in crutches. And, she had a condition, she was in crutches, and she was still attractive. I don't see why people have to feel less attractive or less accessible just because they have X or Y condition, but that's just me. Dancing outside of your comfort zones. I think there's a lot of learning to be done by doing stuff that we're uncomfortable with. There is no peer pressure. Give yourself a cry for help. Gender needs no judgment. That's actually the piece I just read. It wants to be read. The truth of a bad day of, man, sometimes we have a bad day. So that's that collection. By all means, check a sample. If not, it's worth $1 for a couple more days. Not just because it's Cyber Monday. I've had it for a while. I'll keep it till the end of the month for $1. Peace, Love, and Maki Rules is my guide to creative kindness because people sometimes limit themselves to thinking there's only one way to be kind, and I heartily disagree enough to have written a sizable book about it. The areas that I discuss are emotional alchemy, creative kindness, there are no problems, only situations. Learn more by judging less, the healing power of food, explore your inner topography, find your faith, cultivate your fields of knowledge, thoughts, and actions. Listen instead of just waiting for your turn. Teamwork teaches creative kindness. Own your faults while rising above them. Do good, damn it. And other such topics. I find a lot of value in being kind. Sometimes that means that some people want to take advantage of your kindness. Some people misconstrue kindness for I don't know, an open. I've heard that a lot of people are nice to people, and then people like hit on them or send a Richard picture, and stuff like that. I don't understand that, but I do see a lot of value in being kind. Some people have been kind at key moments in my life, and it's made all the difference. But yeah, this is me. Although I write about fantastical things, I like to write about real world things and try to establish a discussion and a conversation and try to hear people out and promote tolerance and promote understanding. And seriously, a lot of people might be hell bent on their opinions, but I've learned that if you talk, and if you talk earnestly and with respect, you can learn. And you can learn to not to accept someone as they are, even if you don't like their stance. There's certain things that you know, child slavery. I think we can all be in agreement that that's a bad thing, and stuff on those lines. But in terms of gender, of age, and right now we're living in a time where okay boomer is a thing, and people of older ages are calling all younger people millennials, and just blanket statements that are blind and irresponsible and just hurtful. I'm not saying that I'm always going to be kind and tolerant and understanding, but I'm saying that I'm trying, and I think that if we try a bit more, good things can happen. Anyways, this was a bit ranty. If you have any questions or comments about the piece that I read, if you disagree with what I say, if you think that I'm full of it, by all means let me know. If you have any questions on for writing out loud, or peace, love, and Maki roles, or are curious as to what I'm working on, or have suggestions in terms of what I should write on the blog, or explore further in my writing in nonfiction, by all means let me know. Use that sexy comment section down below. And until next time, peace, love, and Maki roles.